imagine spending 10 minutes kneading dough, only to be told, "Great! Now leave it alone." Seriously? Why does doing absolutely nothing somehow make bread better? I'm Professor Everything, and today we'll be answering the question, why does dough need to rest? Right here on Explaining Everything. Let's start with the biggest misconception. When bakers say the dough is resting, the dough isn't taking a nap. Its proteins are getting reorganized. Flour contains two important proteins called gluten and gliadin. On their own, they're nothing special. But once you add water and begin kneading, these proteins start linking together to form gluten, a stretchy network that gives dough its structure. Every fold, stretch, and punch strengthens this network. At first, that's exactly what you want. But there's a catch. Freshly kneaded gluten is tight and under tension. It's like stretching a giant rubber band and expecting it to stay relaxed. Spoiler alert, it won't. If you try rolling out dough immediately, it often shrinks right back. The dough is basically saying, absolutely not. During the resting period, the gluten network gradually relaxes. Those stretched protein chains redistribute their tension, making the dough softer, smoother, and much easier to shape. It's less like forcing a stubborn suitcase closed, and more like waiting for it to stop fighting back. Even professional bakers rely on this step because relaxed dough behaves much more predictably during shaping. Sometimes the fastest way to finish baking is to stop touching the dough. While the gluten is relaxing, something else is happening. Water is slowly moving through the dough. When flour first meets water, not every starch granule and protein becomes hydrated instantly. That process takes time. As the dough rests, moisture gradually spreads more evenly throughout the mixture. This makes the dough softer and creates a more consistent texture. Think of it like watering a dry sponge. The water doesn't instantly reach every corner. It slowly works its way through. The starches also absorb more water during this period. This helps improve the dough's overall consistency and reduces dry patches that would otherwise make shaping more difficult. In many recipes, especially artisan breads, this early resting stage is called an autolyse. During an autolyse, flour and water rest together before salt and yeast are fully incorporated. Naturally occurring enzymes begin breaking down some starches into simpler sugars while slightly modifying proteins. Those sugars later become food for the yeast. Basically, the dough is quietly preparing its own buffet, and it's somehow accomplishing all of this while sitting completely still. Humans call that procrastination. Bread calls it efficiency. Now let's talk about the tiny employees doing the real heavy lifting. Yeast. These microscopic fungi don't immediately start inflating your dough like party balloons. First, they settle in. Then, they begin consuming simple sugars present in the dough. As yeast feeds, it produces carbon dioxide and small amounts of ethanol through fermentation. The carbon dioxide becomes trapped inside the gluten network, forming thousands of tiny gas bubbles. That's what makes dough expand. Without gluten, those bubbles would simply escape. Without yeast, there wouldn't be many bubbles to begin with. It's teamwork. One builds the balloon, the other fills it. Fermentation also creates hundreds of flavor compounds. including organic acids and aromatic molecules that give bread its complex taste. Resting isn't only about making dough rise, it's also about making bread taste better. Time is actually one of the ingredients, which explains why rushed bread often tastes like it also skipped breakfast. Meanwhile, the yeast has been working overtime without requesting vacation days for over 5,000 years. Everything that happens during the resting stage eventually shows up in the finished loaf. Relaxed gluten allows the dough to expand more evenly in the oven. Hydrated starches contribute to a softer interior. Fermentation creates better flavor and aroma. Together, these changes improve what's known as the breadcrumb, the pattern of air pockets inside the loaf. Well-rested dough usually produces a lighter, more even crumb instead of a dense, compact texture. The crust benefits, too. The sugars produced during fermentation participate in the Maillard reaction, creating the golden brown color and rich flavors that develop during baking. So that beautiful crust isn't just heat doing its thing. It's chemistry cashing in on all the preparation that happened earlier. Skipping the resting stage doesn't always ruin bread, but it often makes the dough harder to handle and the final loaf less flavorful. It's a bit like building a house before the concrete has finished setting. Technically possible. Probably not your best life decision. Good bread isn't simply mixed. It's patiently negotiated with. So, why does dough need to rest? While it looks like nothing is happening, proteins are relaxing, water is spreading, enzymes are working, and yeast is slowly transforming the dough from a sticky lump into future bread. Sometimes the secret ingredient isn't flour, it's patience. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about here on Explaining Everything.